action that I was required to take. What I'm going to ask you to do is much simpler. It's just make a decision, not just to listen, but to act. And as you leave here, get armed with what you need to win the battle for your own health. You may not be as sick as I was. You might be here to overcome a minor challenge. Or you might be here to improve on the good health you already have, or you're here for somebody else, which happens very often. I want to encourage you that if you will take these keys and unlock your own health potential, you too can be extraordinary. Which, by the way, extraordinary doesn't mean just sort of good. It means best in class, cream of the crop, top of the heap, better than the rest, defying statistics that right now say that 1 out of 2 men will develop cancer in their lifetime, 1 out of 3 women, 1 out of every 2 will develop heart disease, tens of millions of asthmatics, diabetics, 1 out of less than 100 children will be diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder in their lifetime. The list goes on and on. More diseases are being named every year, but we don't have to be a victim. We can be a victor. We can be extraordinary. These 6 keys to extraordinary health were gleaned over my 15 years of study, as well as taken from some of the mothers and fathers of the modern natural health movement, names like Paul Bragg, Bernard Jensen, Pablo Areola, Norman Walker, Victor Earl Irons, Ann Wigmore. Many people you've heard of, some you haven't. These individuals fought great personal health challenges and were swimming certainly upstream at a time when natural health was completely ignored. But now it's become popular, culture, celebrities, actors, entertainers, athletes. Seems like everybody wants to jump on the health food organic bandwagon. 6 keys to extraordinary health. Now, if you're taking notes, I want to apologize up front because I speak very fast, don't usually breathe in between, and use long words that you can't spell deliberately to make you think I'm smart. I have keys, points, principles, ways, and steps, but if you're a fast writer, you can have a roadmap right on your own page for extraordinary health. One thing I also want to mention, over the last 12 months, I fulfilled another dream of mine. I became an organic farmer and rancher. And this has been a dream since I was ill, and I knew that the foods that I counted on to be well were going to be less and less available. So I decided or vowed that I would create these or have a hand in it for my future family and, of course, for me. So we did that, and I've learned more in this last year about how to harness the Earth's resources, how important and critical the chain from soil to grass to animal to plant to human is. And it's shaping really my worldview on health and wellness, and I'm learning more to help people just like you each and every day. I also have a great family, a wife of more than 11 years, just recently celebrated our 11th anniversary. I have 3 children, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old, which might explain why I'm on the road so much to get a break. But it is even teaching me more when you're responsible for these 3 little ones and their health and wellness. So it's been a great journey, and I think the best is yet to come. Key number 1 to extraordinary health. It starts with the gut. That long hollow tube that starts from your mouth and goes to the other end, known as your digestive tract, is critical for health and wellness. Now, you men here probably can relate to me, understanding that when we were all little boys, we wanted to be a superhero. We wanted to leap tall buildings with a single bound. We wanted to have X-ray vision, especially the X-ray vision part. We wanted to have super strength. Now, for me, when I was a kid, I never would have dreamed that when I became an adult, I sort of would be like a superhero. Unfortunately, the name would be Bowel Boy, because my adult career has been spent talking about people's digestive and bowel habits. So if you're squeamish, get over it, because this is an issue that is obviously escalating. Go to a pharmacy, grocery, drugstore, or health food store. You'll see digestive products, rows and rows and rows. There's commercials with jingles celebrating and singing along with these horrible digestive ailments. It's become commonplace. But I want you to know that every great man and woman who started this natural health movement, the pioneers, all believed that there were only 2 ways to get healthy. Get the good in and get the bad out. Good nutrients, where they belong, in your cells. Waste out of your body. That's it. Now you can hear 10 seminars, 12, 20, right in this same spot as me. We'll differ how we get there, but we all agree on the destination. The way to get more good in and bad out is through optimizing your digestive tract. More of your immune system resides in your gut than anywhere else. More of what you consider brain function takes place in your gut than anywhere else. More oxidative stress, what you need antioxidants for, takes place in your gut. So how do we optimize digestion and detoxification? I'm going to give you 4 simple steps. Number 1, go on a cleanse 4 times a year. Now, cleansing is one of those words that scares people. Some of you think I'm going to recommend drinking lemon juice and cayenne pepper for 40 days. I won't. Some of you think that I'm going to recommend this one cleanse that's kind of challenging, where you drink apple juice for 4 days, 8 ounces of olive oil before bed, go to sleep on your left side, and hope when you wake up that cream pellets appear in the toilet. Now, I don't know about you, I go to sleep most nights hoping they won't. Some of you immediately picture that 1992 Saturday Night Live commercial for Colon Blow cereal, and you think you're going to read your entire Encyclopedia Britannica that you bought in 1987 from that salesman who you couldn't say no to. Some of you assume I'm going to recommend colonics or even coffee enemas. Now, coffee enemas actually were a part of medicine for years, in fact, as late as 1950. And when I wrote my second book, Restoring Your Digestive Health, I created an ode to coffee enemas. It went something like this: the best part of waking up is Folgers in your, well, it wasn't cup. And the publisher thought Folgers might be a little bit unhappy with their product being administered via that route. So either way, you don't have to do that. In fact, cleansing does not have to be a no pain, no gain proposition. What it should be is a 4 times a year, 7-day opportunity to jumpstart your health by taking care of your body. January, April, July, October, great times to cleanse. And when you cleanse, all of the greats recommend that you consume either entirely or mostly raw foods and beverages. Why? Because raw foods help to get nutrients in and detoxify. And it is a great step in starting your journey to health. Now, at the end of this seminar, I'm going to do a quick question and answer. And a lot of you will ask about improving energy or immune system or digestion or skin, losing weight. And my answer for many of you will be start with a cleanse. Starting with a cleanse jumpstarts you for extraordinary health. Now, in addition to your raw diet, we created a formulation, the first ever, shockingly, raw cleansing system, and it's called Raw Cleanse. If raw fruits and vegetables are cleansing, why should your cleanse system not be raw as well? It's a 3-part, 7-day system that not only helps cleanse your digestive tract from the top to the bottom, which, believe it or not, starts in the mouth. We give you compounds that get rid of germs in the mouth so they don't get down through the gut. We also help you cleanse your cells from the inside out. We all know that the liver is important for detoxification, and it is. Molecules floating through the bloodstream are purified by the liver, transformed, and excreted. But did you know there's a battle going on inside your cells? The body creates 3 antioxidant enzymes: glutathione, SOD, or superoxide dismutase, and catalase. They are responsible for dealing with internally generated toxins that we have from our metabolism, from breathing, thinking, eating, and sleeping. These 3 antioxidants are provided in Raw Cleanse from raw food ingredients. Raw Cleanse is a great jumpstart to your health because cleansing and detoxification 4 times a year can greatly help you undo some of the damage you've done and prepare the way to extraordinary health. Second step to digestion and detoxification health is to boost your probiotics. Who in this room knows what a probiotic is? Raise your hand. Virtually everybody. I shared this message for the first time 14 years ago, and very few people raised their hands. Let me just give you a quick back story on probiotics. They really are defined as the good germs. Years ago, people thought germs were all bad. A good germ was an oxymoron. But today, I like to define probiotics as your internal army. They are what separates you from, really, health and illness. Your probiotics, and everybody has them, are responsible for keeping your body healthy and defended. Problem is, virtually everybody in this room has a short supply of the good germs. Dr. Bernard Jensen, in his book, Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management, believed that it was all about balance. You need 80% good germs and 20% bad. You see, when they're 20% bad or down to 20%, they're not really that bad. Kind of like 20 criminals and 80 policemen. When the numbers are in your favor, the bad guys aren't so bad after all. Dr. Jensen believed that Americans had an opposite ratio, 80% bad, 20% good. When your probiotics are damaged, they need to be replanted. They cannot be just miraculously there. If you have a nice garden of roses and someone uproots 25% of it, you can water the rest, you can fertilize it, but you're not going to grow back the roses unless you replant them. How do you know if you need a probiotic boost? Well, if you were born via cesarean section, which is ever more popular today. If you've ever taken orally or topically 1 dose of an antibiotic, you've done damage to your probiotics. If you've used any medications like oral contraceptives, medications for heartburn or depression and anxiety, you've lost some probiotics. If you've ever taken 1 bite of commercial meat, poultry or eggs, or 1 sip of commercial dairy, you've ingested as many as 80 antibiotics. If you drink water from your tap or take a shower in chlorinated water, you've got chlorine, which kills probiotics, and antibiotics in your water. On our ranches that we purchased, we have 2 springs. We did purchase the ranches mainly because of the water, because water is responsible for the foundation of health for animals and humans. But when we did sophisticated testing to see the quality of our water, we could determine with relative certainty what the former owner had in his medicine cabinet 5 years ago. That's what we're dealing with. Where do you think all the antibiotics that are used in cattle that don't belong there are going? If you consume carbohydrates, if you've breathed in toxic air or ever been really mad enough at someone to yell at them, you need a probiotic boost. I think you're getting the picture. Everybody can use it. Here's how you get it. Number 1, probiotic diet. Foods that are rich in probiotics are the cultured or fermented foods. Whole milk yogurt and kefir. Sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, apple cider vinegar. Fermented soy like miso or natto. The Japanese fermented product, umeboshi plums. Beverages like kombucha. All of these can boost your probiotics, but not to the effect that we all need. That's why for 15 years, and including tonight before I go to sleep, every night, I take the very same probiotic personally. It was a big part of my health and wellness for the last decade and beyond. It's called Primal Defense Ultra. Primal Defense Ultra and Primal Defense for kids, I consider the armored tank of probiotics. After all, you're trying to get something real tiny, that's real fragile, from the mouth to the other end. And if you were to transport precious metals or gems, you wouldn't use an old jalopy, you'd use an armored tank. Primal Defense Ultra not only contains all the nutrients that are in healthy foods where you get probiotics, but the probiotics themselves can be boiled, microwaved, exploded, and they still survive. Pretty cool. I recommend taking a probiotic supplement like Primal Defense, eating probiotic-rich foods more in your diet so that you can boost your internal army and have ongoing digestive and detoxification health. The third step to digestion and detoxification health is to preserve your enzyme bank account. Now, folks, I know that a lot of us in America have seen our bank accounts change for the worse over the last few years. Pension funds, 401ks, investment accounts. But there's a bank account in your body that you might be even more horrified if you saw the withdrawals and the reduction over the last few years. It's called your enzyme bank account. Enzymes are bioactive proteins.